Coloradans protesting the Trump administration took to Denver streets tonight, and that led to a couple of arrests by police after they told protesters to get off Broadway.
9 News reporter Colton Chavez joins us now. And Colton, you've been following this all night. Tell us what you've been seeing.
Well, right now, this is exactly where those protesters were met by that police line. This is Broadway. Right behind me is the intersection of Exposition. And while we were here, we saw police use a bunch of different tactics to try to get that protest group to disperse. And some of those are still even here on the ground as I talk to you now. I want you to pay attention to these things that we're going to show you on the ground. It looks like a paintball, and basically we saw police officers shooting these out into the crowd, and they would disperse some sort of a white smoke. You can actually see some of the remnants of that still covering the street. Those white little explosions that you see, those are what were being used along with different smoke canisters as well. Now what I want to do is I want to give you guys an idea of what we saw within the last hour. So I'm going to go ahead and turn your attention to some video about what we saw here within the last hour, and that's when we saw protesters meeting police at that police line. It was filled with the Colorado State Patrol and Denver police officers. Now again, we watched as officers used non-lethal tactics like those pepper balls I was just showing you, but they were also throwing smoke canisters into the crowd. People were using things like umbrellas and covering their mouths with their shirts. Others had actual masks on as well. And during that protest, when they were meeting with police, several arrests were made. We saw several people be brought down by police and placed in some sort of handcuffs. And then at one point, there was a drone that was flying over the crowd of protesters. We saw some sort of object fly from the group, hit that drone, and then it was taken down into the street where protesters began smashing and throwing it up against the street as well. Now this all started at a protest at the state capitol around 5 o'clock today, where we saw what was once a unified group split into two different groups. One headed down towards 19th, the other made their way up here down Broadway to Exposition. Now eventually several protesters used a microphone to encourage that group to leave, and that's when we started seeing this group turn around and start to walk away. Now if I can bring you back out here for another live look at Exposition right here off Broadway. Standing here now, if I could give you guys any indication of how much smoke was used, me, my photojournalist Mark, and Austin, we have a three-man crew here today, we're still sniffing and we're still coughing because there are remnants of this from here in Exposition for the next few blocks down as well. Now after this, we do plan to head back down Broadway towards the Capitol. We're not sure what activity is still there, but we're going to continue to follow this for the rest of the night.
Colton, does it look like there's still a critical mass of protesters out there? Is there still a large group, or have they dispersed?
Well, Kyle, at least for here off Broadway, we watched that group, everybody on foot, march back down towards the Capitol area. Unfortunately, that happened within the last half hour, so we decided to stay here. But all indications right now from what we're hearing is that there are people still making their way down towards the Capitol. For a little bit of context, it would be a 55-minute walk for them to go from here back to the Capitol, over 2.5 miles. So I imagine there are still several protesters out on the streets tonight, Kyle.
And probably some that are going to drop off now that they have done this and it's getting dark. So thank you, Colton. We know you'll stay in touch with us, keep us abreast of everything that's happening here in Denver tonight.